Hi, I am Monique James, a radiant, loving, joyful, passionate woman of light. Every afternoon when I was 3, the school bus would stop and unload kids on our corner. In chorus, they would yell, "Hey, Unique the Streak!" That's because I would be running around, feeling the wind through my hair and the cracks in my toes, totally and completely naked. My mother had 6 kids to feed on a tight budget, so a naked 3-year-old was not at all as concerning as getting the beans picked and the peaches canned. A few years later, I put on my clothes and I started a family. In my romantic mind, I had 6 doll children and a guitar case son named Kevin. Most of my children were bald. That's because my brother had convinced me that if I would let him cut their hair, it would grow back. When I found out it didn't, I cried, and he glued corn silk on their heads instead. I spent summers climbing trees and running around with my brothers. My brothers had convinced me that I was bionic and that if I did everything they did, I would be just fine. However, they were wrong, because by the time I was 8, I had cracked my head open 5 times. As I grew older, instead of streaking around the yard naked, I spent my summer working. My dad, a school teacher, spent his summer getting car dealers to let us detail their used cars. It was hard work, but we were always rewarded at the end of the day with a pink lemonade snow cone. I learned how to ski in an unconventional way. My mother, who would refuse to pay for ski lessons, took me to the top of the hill, told me to put my tips together and ski to the bottom. I did exactly what she told me to do, and unfortunately, it didn't quite work like she had planned. I ended up with a slight concussion and my knee ripped open. However, that didn't stop me because the next week I was back at it again without the ski instructor. High school introduced me to the exciting life of driving. For some reason, I wrecked every car I ever drove. But of course, the wrecks were never my fault. After scoring a whopping 7 speeding tickets and wrecking my newly painted Bondoed car again, my dad decided a dump truck was the better alternative and defensive driving was a must. When I was 17, I was the assistant manager at Hardee's. I graduated from high school as an honor roll student, was listed in Who's Who's Among American Students, and one of the songs I had composed was sung at my graduation. I entered college and got a job folding laundry for the Alzheimer's wing in the rest home. I didn't like that job so much, so I picked up a job cutting fabric and became an assistant manager at House of Fabrics thereafter. That job became boring as well, so I decided I need to serve a mission in Dallas, Texas. While I was there, I met an atheist who wore fluorescent shorts and drove a hearse. He came to Utah to go to the Salt Lake Temple and asked me to come. He never went back to Texas. We married in the Manti Temple, and 13 months later, I had a baby girl, and since had 2 more children, 3 miscarriages, and a stillborn baby boy. We've shed lots of tears, both of joy and sorrow, in our lives. And just 6 weeks ago, we shed a lot more tears of joy and sorrow as we sent our baby girl off on her mission to Houston, Texas, Spanish speaking. I don't know what her life holds for her, but I'm sure her story will be just as exciting, if not more. I am Monique James, and I am a radiant, loving, joyful, passionate woman of light. And all these things shall work together for my good. Thank you for watching.